Dirt Dude down here at Barona Speedway with Brian Brown. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing really good. Good heat race and starting off right.
So we got the heat race in. You got a little bit of feel for it. What do you think?
Definitely different. The track, I think, now we'll see what they do when they cut it, but the heat race was just one groove at the bottom. You stick your right rear tire in that groove and like really drive it like asphalt.
So talk about, I'm going to bring up a little bit of bad memory. Last race, or last weekend, I guess you ran out to Kokopah. You got a fourth place finish, which I mean, that's honorable mention because you had a bunch of damage here on the right side. That was actually the side you actually lean on, and you wheeled it to fourth place with a broken shock and a broken arm?
Yeah, broken upper ball joint. It hit perfect. The ball joint, clevis smashed against the shock and bent the shock and just stayed right there. Didn't move, just it planted there, and it.
So it didn't bind or anything like that? You didn't have any problem with that?
No, the car felt different, but you know, I slapped the wall coming out of turn 2, and that's what caused the damage. Okay, so it was my own fault, but the heat race, man, we went out there and we had them beat by like 0.3 of a second. It was awesome. We won the heat race going to the main, and it was like night and day for us.
That track changes really quick. Our track's probably going to change too, but hopefully it'll change better for you as the night goes along. You kind of know where this is going to go, and you can figure it out, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you just go out there and you run your first, 3 or 4 laps. The good thing about dirt, you can kind of change your driving style a little bit to tend to what the track is, and make up for it. As in asphalt, dude, you go out there, you've got to have that setup on. You can't change too much, So it's definitely suits me a little bit better. I typically take it easy the first couple laps, kind of get it figured out, and then let it come to me, and then hopefully someone else doesn't figure it out faster. This guy Ryan over here is the only guy I got to worry about. I think.
No stranger to this track. I mean, you have a couple track championships, a lot of main event wins, and you started off the season good. So far with 2 main event wins here with this car, and then taking the hobby stock out to Kokopah and running 2 main event wins there, especially one of the big nights. I mean, that was a good payout for you guys.
Yeah, that was the first time, and for my first time in a hobby stock. They drive so much different than anything I've ever driven, really.
Now I'm gonna stop you there for a second because you did hobby stock and you also drove street stock and these sport mods. What is like the difference between all of them?
Well, Fitzgibbon's hobby stock is really like asphalt. I mean, you don't want to get the car sideways, so you're trying really hard not to let the car.
You can't grip that car then?
You can, but I mean, you're playing with the stock steering box. So when you're going that fast and you're having to throw that much wheel at it, I mean, it's very inconsistent. So you really try to roll it in and keep the back end of the car underneath you and just work with the forward drive. Street stock, my street stock was a leaf spring car. So it was completely different. Like when I got into Greg Mann street stock for those last couple races of the season, to me,
all right, after a quick recharge of the batteries, had a drop out of battery. So back to what we were talking about. We were talking about your cars and the different cars you've been running. So how's it feel for tonight?
Really good. I see they're getting ready to cut the track. We'll see how it goes, but we made a couple little changes, and I mean, from the beginning, the car's been right there. It's just learning how to drive it. So
second up tonight, you're going to be racing a bunch of your friends here, or your team cars, right?
Well, Ryan's a team car. That's the exact same car as this one. So, but he had Lance Murray with MRT race cars change all the geometry in the front end on that one, which really likes. So give a shout out to Lance Murray with MRT for hooking Ryan up. Me, I'm a guy that likes to sit in my garage by myself and do my own thing. So,
this is your hobby.
Yeah, this is my
other than boating.
Yeah, this is my my nights after work for sure.
How about what special you got to think out here?
Oh man, there's a ton of people.
I thought you had them written down on your arm.
No, I probably should because I need to thank Fitzgibbon's group too. But Bob Brown's Automotive, he helps me out with tires. He's of course my uncle, but has always been a big support of racing with my dad and his kids and my kids. So he's awesome. Southwest Construction Services, which is a company I work with, they help out with all the fuel. We have Sunset Sign Shops, does all my lettering and decal work on the cars, helping keeping them nice. We like to keep them clean every time we come out. So SDG Suspension Group, he's a spring sponsor. You know, he'll does all suspension for off-road, most of it. We don't get a whole lot of off-road going on.
Well, sometimes the track's in
Yeah,
a bad shape.
yeah. But they're big help. Duncan and his partner over there. Who else I got? Bob Elite Trucking. That's Ryan Amadon. He hauls dirt and asphalt. So he of course suckered me back into this venture of racing again.
What are friends for, man?
Yeah,
to get you back into the mess.
So and then we sucked Jeremy back into it. So that's good. It's a good time. All these people, and then my dad. He's not here tonight, and he wasn't here last race here. He's got a back issue tearing him up, so he's at home resting. My Uncle Tom came out to help, and then all my buddies, all these guys that I've met from racing.
Jump back into the hobby stock real quick. You talked about Brian Fitzgibbons. Is there some more races in the future with that?
Yeah. We're trying to set up a pretty decent hobby stock race and a sport mod race here at Barona Speedway on July 24th. We're building up some sponsorship to try to get a good payday to get some guys from Arizona up here.
If you get the money, the cars will show up with that.
Yeah. I mean, well, that was like it was down there. We had Brian. They put on a race where they said $600 to win. So me and Brian had just got his car. Brian can't drive yet because he's still going through his treatments for colon cancer, but.
We're all behind Brian, supporting Brian.
Yep, cancer definitely sucks. He asked me. I told him, look at that money. We hit it, and the next thing you know, by the time we went down a race, it was up to $1,600. So it was no pressure or nothing.
Here's a car, not yours.
Yeah, and of course, Brian. Well, it was probably more pressure from his wife Amanda than anything. It was like, don't screw it
that
up.
Carl guy better get out there and do some good, right?
Yep, don't screw it up, Carl. So it went well. I mean, he's got a lot of good people behind him that helped him even get that car.
And that car had to come a long way, I heard.
Yeah, he went back to Nebraska and picked it up from Jeff Ware, who's a national champion in the hobby stocks in 2019, I believe. And it's an awesome car. I mean, like I tell those guys down there, they come up, and after we went down a second time and beat them again, and
you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that car. I mean, literally, it's Google Drive. You get in the thing and just point it, and it drives itself. It made me look good, is what it did. So it's a blast. They're big guys. Is La Quinta Winery out in Ramona is a big supporter of Brian's, and Ernie Medina with budget grading. He's got Adams Accounting. They helped out just getting the car.
And the whole family behind him too. The whole family is supporting him.
So
your little buddy Marie. That's
my little buddy Marie.
When she's not dancing, she can participate.
Yeah, she did. She's been killing it every time. I mean, she actually won her competition last week when we were down in Cocopa.
So and if you follow all these guys on Facebook or through Barona Speedway, you can kind of know what we're talking about. A lot of stuff behind the scenes that we're kind of throwing into you guys that you're not going to get, but inside jokes for us.
Yeah, for sure. The whole Carl thing, it's hilarious. So
there you go, Brian Brown here at Barona Speedway, wishing you good luck tonight.
Thank you, bud.